Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio.
Hello and welcome to what used to be called the Community Living Show. It's been a while since we did it on radio, many moons ago for that matter, but anyways, I'm co-hosting part of the show, so I'm going to be sort of the moderator on this show. Anyways, I'll get on to the show. First off, I'm going to introduce to you to Paul Gilbert. Paul Gilbert used to be the member of the BC Disability...
No, I'm still the spokesperson for the...
Oh, you are still in it. Okay, yeah. You're still in it. So Paul is the member of the BC Disability Caucus, and he's over in Victoria right now. Michael, I'm assuming you're in White Rock, am I right?
Yep, it's still in White Rock. Okay,
so I guess a lot of what I see is I'm stumbling here a little bit. I mean, it's good to see you both. I mean, I guess down at White Rock, down in the area where the borders have already been closed because of the COVID-19 situation, and I was just there a few weeks ago with my mother and myself going over to Aldergrove around there, and the place seems to be completely bare. There was no cars, there was nothing. All you probably might see is a security guard inside the building doing nothing, for that matter, right?
Yeah.
So
it's pretty bare. One of the I think one of the more disturbing things that I did see was actually at the pier where this was a couple weekends ago that after we were supposed to be on lockdown and everything, that there was a big crowd at the pier, and it was packed. And not exactly a good thing that when we're trying to keep the spread of the virus down and the number of cases down, right?
Yeah, and I mean, along the way, along Zero Avenue, we spotted a security guard just having a sandwich there, just monitoring the situation between two roads side by side, and obviously there seems to be nothing on the out front of trespassers going back and forth, for that matter. So
yeah, I think a lot of the social distancing is a bit problematic when you go into venues and there's not enough space for you guys for two people to walk. When you're at the cashier and then people come up behind you and pass you, and they're actually passing within inches rather than 6 feet. There's all sorts of circumstances where 6 feet is impossible, and there should actually be some sort of an orchestrated effort to make sure that 6 feet is done somehow.
Right.
Venues. I don't know how retailers would do that. Yeah. Well, the Safeway and the Safeway, the Superstore, and the Walmart here, they are very much limited in the number of people that can go into the store at a time. They have security guards up and ropes up to let people in at incremented times, and they're keeping track of how many people are actually up and down the aisles. I think one of the biggest safety hazards in this situation is more towards the workers in the store, because they're exposed to all of the customers over a 5 to 8 hour period. And if we look at a case in Ontario, one of the Superstore workers died of COVID-19 simply because the the aisles were too small for him to be able to do his job and for customers to get by.
Well, there's a thing called tape measuring and spot the dots where some people are still, still aisling. I know of my place at Meinhardt's, they've done the tape measure for over 6 feet. So each length of the store goes over length by length by length of the aisles, and and I'm glad that they did that. And they've also had one of those postings outside in case if it does get busy, they have to wait outside just to get their turn to come into the store.
Yeah, the problem with social distancing is a huge one, but with a lot of different circumstances with the disabled, they where there's personal care workers and things like that. The problem is that them not having proper protective gear, and a lot of care workers are sort of contract employees. They bounce from one client to another all over the damn city.
Yeah.
just like educational assistants do that. They bounce all over the damn place.
Right.
So it's just like the healthcare workers. There's not enough. There's not enough resources given to them for personal protective gear, and that's a problem across anybody who's actually working and engaging the public at all.
Right. Michael?
Yeah, he's got a definite point with that. The cases of in the senior care homes, the cases in Linwood Valley and there's the Evergreen here in White Rock, where it was a contract worker that came in that was somehow, they may not have been sick, but they were somehow contaminated with the virus from someplace else.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's amazing, actually. The virus can live on things for, what, a few days?
Maybe weeks or months.
19 days.
19 days.
That's scary.
Yeah. I'm not sure about clothing. I know they actually measured it like in countertops or something like that, and it was over 2 weeks on a countertop. So clothing is I guess it's until somebody washes it, right? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they really need to do something about making personal protective gear available to the public, and maybe the government should be trying to help orchestrate that sort of thing rather than getting private enterprises to do it. I mean, it seems like the public interest should be something they look at as far as making sure those resources are available. But I understand as far as healthcare workers, the push as far as the Canadian provinces right now is that Ontario is taking the lead on developing manufacturing capacity for those things. I don't know how that. The thing is that there's vague generalities when you get this sort of information from government, and there's not a lot of detail yet.
Yeah. Well, on that end, one of the I think it's one of the car manufacturing places is supposedly building ventilators. Which is a great retooling. But then again, how experienced are these workers at building that particular type of device, right? And there was and I've been following along with a lot of the press releases from Justin Trudeau, and he was telling a story about a building supply place that's building partitions to be placed in hospitals to help assist with more isolation of COVID-19 patients who are actually symptomatic and everything. So,
yeah, there's a huge problem right now with different jurisdictions around the homeless and housing the homeless, but there's sorts of
to go involved in that as well. I was going to start asking about that and the possibility of what's happening on the downtown east side with the homelessness as well. So go on, Paul.
Well, I've been watching more of the U.S. news on that, and there's a huge problem with that in the U.S. where people don't have any. There's no protections for people in those homeless shelters.
Right.
And there's people are just it's like everything else. We're not adapting to the coronavirus.
No.
Very quickly.
Michael?
Well, that has been asked on from out of Justin Trudeau about homeless populations, and has been asked out of Dr. Bonnie Henry in how to deal with the downtown east side, and no one seems to have an answer about that, because there's how do you keep the social distancing when you have limited space with the shelters?
Or the fact that these people actually have no place to go. How do they practice social distancing when they're on the street? And the police are pretty aggressive if you're on the street. They don't want you on the street. You don't have a home.
It just seems like nobody. It just seems like nobody's asking that questions to Dr. Bonnie and Adrian Dix about this.
Well, Victoria's actually got some. They have some plans around where the homeless can go. That there are things like public outdoor parks. So they have a washroom in the park maybe or something like that. But they don't. Do they have soap available so people can wash their hands, or is there washrooms available for people? It's like they actually really have to look at how these people are going to keep themselves safe.
And it's also part of the fact that it's crowding as well, and possibly on the downtown east side as well. That can be also a factor on their part.
Yeah, that's tragic.
Yeah, very. But I want to change topics on a little bit. Paul, how have you been isolating yourself these days?
Oh, I've been staying at home and not going out very much. I've been, as I was saying, I go to the grocery store and I keep 6 feet apart from people. But then when you go to the cashier, people end up walking within inches of you. So it's
right.
kind of cancels the whole thing out. There really needs to be more work on stopping on controlling how people social distance rather than because it doesn't if somebody's a carrier of the virus one way or the other, having them within inches of you is not a terribly wonderful experience to think about.
Michael?
Basically, because we also provide an essential service with delivery of the press and newspapers. We have to go out in between the hours of 2 a.m. and 8 a.m. And which, gratefully, there's not a lot of people up and about during those hours.
Right.
But outside of that is we don't. It's like we quickly grab some groceries or something like that on the way back from doing the papers, and we're managing to avoid people that way. But outside those hours, we stay indoors and self-entertain, and then of course we have the press conference broadcast, which is also pretty cool in that you can get all the feeds from off of a link that they provide for the press polls, right? There's no reporters out on the street.
Well, no, most of them are
just at home recording this stuff at home.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Apparently, the media is being really hard hit by the coronavirus, and the corporate media is actually losing parts of itself. But parts of it are dying off, and I saw somebody had an editorial from the weekend. They were suggesting the CBC should actually be have expanded news coverage, and they should be sharing their news, their what they collect with the other media, so that they actually support them and from stop them from becoming extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I wanted if I can't log it, if the traffic's too heavy to run their press polls. I actually click on YouTube for global.
Right.
It's like I pull their broadcast in and then re-record it, rebroadcast it through our system.
Yes.
So, I mean, the CBC I haven't even been able to find a link for their YouTube during this whole thing.
Well, yeah. Well, I've got an Apple TV, so I'm pretty much isolated on that, and I've been doing a lot of CBC gems a lot of past few days, like live either on if I'm seeing it, the Vancouver broadcast or the Toronto broadcast of CBC, if they wanted to do their newscast or other entertainment, that's fine with me. I noticed CBC News Networks has opened its channels for free to customers with this COVID virus as well. They provided service to the CBC Gem, CBC News, everything on this COVID virus. So I applaud them to do what they're doing on their news and stuff. As for myself, basically it's just home and work just for myself. So basically I know my schedule has changed to my working schedule. It used to be like Monday through Thursday during the mornings from 10:30 on until about 2:30, so it's a 4-hour shift. Now most of a couple of dishwashers have been, I'm probably laid off. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about the other two, but anyways, I've mostly now been working Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays now, doing on this, and it seems as though in my market, my grocery market seems to be pretty quiet for most part on those Friday, Saturday, Sundays, and probably a lot of people are still obeying what the Prime Minister says and what the Premier says to stay at home and just to wash your hands. So, anyway,
I'm a bit one of the things that's problematic for poor people,
right?
Is that what about poor people who can't afford? Poor people who are homeless, poor people who don't have the internet. There's how do people? I mean, there's resources that you have to actually cope with this crisis.
Yeah. Well, for myself, for that matter, my phone's not equipped with Wi-Fi. That's why I'm over at Mom's place to do this, the Wi-Fi situation on any other social media and stuff like that. Otherwise, my home's pretty much blocked off, so I'm mostly either A, I'm on my laptop fixing my show, or B, I'm at work. So, there you go.
Yeah, I know it's interesting that this sort of transition that's happening in the market. But one of the things people were saying that the disabled are affected by is that the services like having people purchase things for you or pick up stuff for you in the store and deliver it to you. It's one of the things that disabled people do fairly often. A lot of disabled people use those sorts of services, so they can because they can't get out of their homes. And so, but those services are overwhelmed now, so they're not really available for people to use at the same level as they used to.
Right.
So there's a lot of those sorts of things are just completely overwhelmed.
You have a good point. I've heard that on some product that there for certain items from the grocery stores. Not perishable items, of course, but but the perishable items are running out before you even really get a chance to order them anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the problems with our just-in-time marketplace. I mean, the capitalism has evolved into the situation where there are no inventories any longer. Just everything's just in time, so that they can make maximum profit off of the stuff. So we didn't have a collection of masks and ventilators and all those other things that we needed stored up for our crisis, because the idea that you just get stuff when you need it, right? It doesn't really work with public health crises.
Yeah, I was going to on a take on that. What it seems like a lot of panic shoppers are on those kind of stuff. The major supplies of hand sanitizers and masks. I mean, if you want to wear a mask, that's fine. But if you were, it's not very important for me not just to wear a mask. I mean, as long as you're keeping your face safe, that's fine too. Paul, what's on your take on that?
Well, first,
Michael.
on the science basis, there is no scientific basis for actually wearing the mask unless you are symptomatic, and that symptomatic means that you're wearing the mask to protect everyone else around you.
Right.
So if you don't have symptoms, there's no reason to actually wear the mask. If you're a healthcare worker, it becomes a different story because you're trying to protect yourself from the symptoms of the other person you're caring for.
Paul?
Yeah. Well, I saw this. One of the things I was looking at somebody who I was very impressed with. One person I saw who had a mask on, had the face shield, and they were wearing what was the equivalent of rain gear and boots. So if they were to go home after being out, they could basically wash off their outer clothing and be perfectly safe. And any viruses that got on them would be gone. But the thing is that they were touching themselves and taking their face mask off and putting it back on and touching their face shield, and so if they encountered the virus, they just contaminated themselves.
Right.
So I mean, I think people aren't really used to the fact. They're not really thinking about how to go about dealing with the virus. But sometimes when they're dealing with these different strategies to keep themselves safe.
Yeah. Well, you bring up a good point with that, Paul. I used to work in a very specialized chemistry lab, and there's training that goes along with wearing the personal protective equipment that you don't touch your face. I mean, and you're always constantly reminding people while you're working with them is like to do things like if you got to sneeze, you sneeze into your sleeve.
Yeah.
If you have to scratch your face, you pull up like a piece of cloth from off of your outer garment, lab coat or something. They won't come in contact with contaminate anything else around you. You scratch with that, because if you scratch with the glove, you just put whatever the chemical was. In this case,
on your
it's going to
face.
be that virus all over your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a problem because there's behaviors that go along with keeping yourself safe that people aren't really necessarily cognizant of.
Yeah.
But yeah, once being able to keep yourself safe sometimes is a financial barriers to that. But there's and access to technology and access to things that you need to keep yourself safe. I know that affects a lot of people with disabilities.
I know for a fact that I do a thing. Well, it's a group. It's called the Spectrum Society for Community Living, and one of my support workers and family are doing fine. Of course, they live upstairs below the basement of me. They're doing fine. Anyways, to try and keep them, I mean, one of the supporters has a support worker who does on a care that, they do a good job on disability. I mean, maintaining themselves, keeping distance is another factor. It goes on situations on many other fronts where a support worker needs to follow the procedures on that as well. I'm just, maybe we can talk about that. Either one of you to talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, those support workers, there's got to be some way to keep them safe and protected, you know?
Yeah, I know you're also part of a support worker as well. Am I right, Mike?
Actually, we were doing volunteer. My wife and I were doing volunteer work in the senior care homes.
Yeah,
and we've been subsequently locked out.
Okay.
We aren't allowed to do that sort of work in those homes right now because they're just trying to keep the virus free.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the residents themselves are pretty much so locked in.
Yeah.
That's a sad thing.
Yeah, actually, that's happening all over the place with everybody. That's actually there's an incredible amount of isolation going on because of the virus.
Yeah. The government has put in place, especially for the seniors, the 211 line, so that there's volunteers that can call into. You get assigned a group of seniors that you call into, and you find out if they need anything or something like that, right?
Right.
So, so they're trying to alleviate some of that, but the idea of getting fresh air, that's a human need.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we, while we're on lockdown, how do we actually get around that, right?
Yeah, well, there's this thing, if you're feeling better, if you're feeling you don't have the COVID virus or anything, you can manage to go out for a walk, you can go for the distance. I mean, myself, I'm by myself most times. I can do all those kind of things. But, getting together or getting with a group of more than 20 wouldn't be a good idea. I mean, the last time I went was out near downtown over at the Reaburne doing the World of Drum and Bass, and I know they did a good show and everything, but that was kind of like my last big group facilities that I was invited by the group anyway, so I was really appreciated from their drum and bass from the drum and bass industry. But anyways, that was kind of like my last thing before you have to say what's your limit, right?
Yes, I was relieved to see that the people like the Pope told people to stay home rather than what Trump was telling people that they should be going to their Easter services because everything will be fine by then.
Yeah, well,
it was.
The U.S. situation on that one with it looks like a mass unit sitting in Central Park. Mass morgue in a civic center in New Orleans. The town I grew up in Pennsylvania is under military lockdown by the mayor. So,
wow.
The U.S. is a mess with. I don't even know how many cases they actually have in the U.S. right now.
I don't think they know either.
No.
I was trying to track and report the number of cases worldwide and across Canada, and it's at a point of you know what, we all need to do something to keep from getting sick. Let's just pay attention to that rather than looking at the numbers, because it's just going to become depressing.
Well, there's no testing going on in most places, so it's virtually impossible to tell whether or not there's what the numbers are. But I'm looking at places like India that Modi locked down the country, and if you go out and the police find you out, they beat you with sticks.
Oh,
and there's going to be in India and Africa. I figure there's going to be a lot of people starving to death.
well, there was a worst case scenario in Italy where one COVIDiot was out and about, and you had two police officers kicked him like a soccer ball, for that matter. It's pretty much devastating on what I know they're trying to do their jobs of staying people for the lockdown, but that's the question too. Before we go further, I'm just going to say that you are listening to the Community Living Show podcast. I mean, we haven't done this since years. I'm assuming we haven't done this for years. So
Yeah.
So. Anyways, it's good to see you both, you, Michael and Paul, on this discussion. And going back to where we were on the lockdown, do you ever think Kenny will ever do a lockdown?
No.
A complete lockdown?
A complete lockdown.
Yeah, but I mean, as a full lockdown, mean no cars, no. As what you see in China, what you saw in Italy, and what you saw in Iran, those kind of things.
I think it'll come down to what the results, how many cases come up in the next little while. Aren't we supposed to hit a peak sometime soon in Canada?
I'm assuming it's pretty close to that. I don't know if Trudeau is going to say, look, enough is enough. You're not getting the full picture of all these people, well, walking along White Rock, for that matter, along the Pier Beach, or walking along English Bay, bunch of groups that they're doing. So they may as well have to do another stage onto this matter. So I was just wondering on your takes on that.
Well, for the most part, they have said that the BC CDC has said that we have missed the curve, which is cool. Which means that what that actually means is that instead of having a bunch of cases all at once, it's going to overwhelm the healthcare system, and then people are going to just start dying because they can't get medical treatment. By bending the curve, you're keeping it under the limits of the healthcare system, so everybody can get some sort of care if they become symptomatic.
Right.
Which is really cool. But on to the other end of that, by bending the curve, you also stretched out your number of cases over time, which means that you have to keep your lockdowns and all those sort of measures in place for a longer time. Okay, which is somebody in Dr. Tedros in the World Health Organization. Their team has said it's time to do something to bring the curve down so that it to an end point.
Right.
And they said that they have to come up with a different set of measures to actually make that happen. Which could be even tougher than what we're already experiencing. That's still up in the air. I haven't heard the report on what that would look like. So we may actually be in tougher lockdowns ahead, or we may be in a situation where things start to ease up. But in either direction, where we're sitting at right now isn't going to be forever. and something else is going to change. So we just have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at the media. Some of the media they seem to be talking as though they expect things to change within 2 months, but other. I mean, I think the mayor of either London or Berlin was saying that they expect their city to be pretty much locked down until the end of the year. So I don't know exactly what people are anticipating, but it seems like the U.S. is downplaying the seriousness of how long and how intense this will be, whereas other places are more focused on it being a longer-term, bigger problem. But that's what the U.S.'s response has been from the beginning. That it's not as they sort of dismissed its seriousness.
Well, yeah, that's let's go to church, everybody. and the papal office saying, hey, it's okay to stay home. You know.
Well, what I'm seeing for churches, speaking of churches, what I'm seeing on churches is one ministry is doing, mostly they're all doing it on the internet, mostly on YouTube and mostly on the social medias, which is good. I mean, if you're a stay-at-home person and don't want to deal with that virus, and I can understand what is happening on that. So we talked about all sorts of different issues on the COVID and to prevent, and of course, as everybody's saying, to wash your hands, to wash your face, to don't spread the virus. Are the government doing a good job on this, Paul?
I think the government's been doing in Canada. The government response has been appropriate. I wish that they had actually banked up. I wish that they'd actually reacted faster, closer to the beginning of the year, because it was the information was out there closer to the beginning of the year.
It was a hard time because I watched a documentary on Four Corners on ABC that the COVID virus took a long time in China because how they handled it in Wuhan, had they mentioned about it earlier in December, would have made it more interesting around the world. What's on that, Paul?
Well, I know the reaction in China initially, they sort of the government when the information came out from one medical person announced that they found this virus and what the virus was. They got chastised by the government, and then they died.
Yeah,
and then the government was on board as far as the virus is concerned. Yes, this is a major problem.
Yeah, and it was more like too little, too late. All the people that are either on the lockdown at Wuhan or anything like that, many of them were visitors and many of them were traveling to other places. That's part of the reason why we see the updates on our news bulletin these days. Michael, on your take on it.
I think that Justin Trudeau and Doug Ford and John Horgan have done an exemplary job of trying to keep the numbers down and making sure that people are staying safe and taking it seriously. Justin Trudeau, of course, making himself an example by working at home. Of course, his family was hit with the virus. His wife Sophie was sick. But
and of course, they kept their distance.
Other areas in the world that didn't take it seriously. Donald Trump isn't the only one who didn't take it seriously. And then you have where Italy and Iran were just simply blindsided. the Prime Minister of Italy, she locked the country down as fast as she possibly could, but it was way too late. It was they were already self-spreading. So,
and of course, we're not seeing any reports on other places, other countries like Russia, or I know Russia is not taking that kind of seriously onto the virus, so they're not getting any reports on the COVID virus. And any other countries, they're saying, you know, we hear the other places in the countries.
That's the thing that I suspect is that actually the spread in a lot of countries is going to be a lot worse than we're expecting, because the testing's not up. I mean, they're just not tracking it, and a lot of governments don't seem to be talking about what they're experiencing. It's a little bit problematic.
Yeah. Well, in Bolivia, they put off an election. They may have finally. I know they talked about putting off an election for a month.
Right.
Due to, because they didn't want the social gathering of the vote. And the Congo, they ran into a situation because they what was very thinly reported about the Congo is they were also in a lockdown over the Ebola virus. So they as this came up, they were beating back a Ebola virus outbreak. So supply chain, medications, personal protective gear, all those sort of things needed to combat Ebola have now been spread thin. So there we have a situation there in Africa, right? Where resources are already going to be spread thin.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I've heard of the Ebola when I went over to Zambia doing the helper work of the habitat, and they were saying like, oh, Zambia and Botswana and southern parts of Africa are well maintained for it, but in the western part of Africa, where my mother has an adopted child down there, they're in lockdown because of the Ebola situation. So it's on either going over there or not. So it was a hard decision. So we decided just to do what we can on our habitat and to head over to other parts of the countries that were very interesting. So, all right. So, okay. So, you says okay. So I'm going to wrap this up now. Paul, I'm assuming you're still on the BC Disability Caucus. Maybe you should on your contact as well.
Okay, well, yes. People are welcome to visit the Disability Caucus on Facebook or Twitter. Just search out BC Disability Caucus in your search engine, and you'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Okay, Michael, how they get a contact of you?
One of the biggest ways is through depictions.media. And there's a contact page there that they can reach out to me if they have any story ideas or things like that. So,
okay. Yeah. So it's almost close to about 1:45 now. Okay, thank you very much for all the on the conversation on this COVID-19 virus. And I hope you guys stay safe. And so we just don't know when this will end. I'm predicting a year, but my mom's saying 6 months. We don't even know when this will end. What are your guesses?
I don't know. I really can't say. I figured the end of the year would be probably when it would end. The problem I'm facing is I'm facing an eviction in June 30th because they've renovated my building.
Oh, wow.
And they're trying to get higher rents out of everybody, so they're trying to renovate me.
All right.
I don't really want to be homeless in June.
What's your guess, Michael?
Well, I'm going to go at it like this. It's probably not going to be till September because I think they're going to try to push everything out and down to get the kids back in school.
All right, I'm going to let you go, Michael. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul, for all of this. And we'll talk again soon. I don't know when you guys want to do this again, but this was a very fun topic. So thank you guys.
Thanks. All right.
Thanks.
All right. So that was the conversation on Paul and Michael, and I'm hoping we will do this again sometime soon. I would like to thank all of you for tuning in, and please sure tune in to the late night show on both Vancouver's Co-op Radio, CFRO 100.5 FM, and online www.coopradio.org, and on Mixcloud. My Mixcloud is mixcloud.com/Kelly-DJ-REA. Until next time, I will say goodbye to all of you, and I hope to see you on the podcast. Leave a message to all of us you just mentioned on the contact, and let us know of what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong on those kind of issues. Anyways, I will sign off now, and I will see you all again soon. Stay safe, everybody, and hopefully we will talk again soon. Take care.
This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.